Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State basketball with women's coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson.
On the Tiger Sports Network, this is Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hays. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and more at 809 Ash. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis, providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. BTI, your John Deere dealer, with locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. The Taco Shop, dine in, carry out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. And G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive care and tires for all driving conditions. 201 East 8th on the Bricks in downtown Hays. Now, the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock.
And a good Monday afternoon, and welcome into Tiger Talk. This is indeed Gerard Wellbrock. We'll be joined by women's basketball coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson. Talk some Tiger basketball. Fort Hays State men playing on Saturday. The women finally got their season underway last Tuesday, but unable to play Kearney on Saturday due to COVID protocols with the Lopers. Scheduled as of now to play at Newman this Saturday. Potentially a little change in that schedule. We won't know till later in the week, but the ever-evolving 2020-21 basketball schedule for everybody, and Fort Hays State certainly has been involved in all of that. We are live at the Golden Q. At least I'm live at the Golden Q. The coach is still remote. Hopefully someday soon they'll be able to join us live here in person at the Golden Q, just a couple of blocks east of campus in Hays. We bring in Coach Hobson, his team getting off to a 1-0 start. Hey, we got a game to talk about. Our first program in which we've been able to talk about a game, and it was a great comeback win for your squad to finally usher in the season last Tuesday.
Well, it was. I mean, we had to hold them scoreless the last little over 5 minutes of the game to get out of there with a win, but I knew it would be a little bit of a disjointed game. It's our first game of the year against outside competition, and defensively I thought we made a lot of errors, but we kept playing hard at least, and we're able to come out of there with a win. I thought Whitney Randall really stepped up and carried the mail down the stretch after Jaden fouled out, and had some good play off the bench, and like I said, it was far from where you need to be this time of year, but probably about normal for a first game.
Well, and we talked a lot last week. You hadn't played a game. You had some players coming off the COVID protocol, some with COVID, some just on quarantine. And it was slowly the team kind of matriculating in, and you could get a full squad. You'd have a lot of time with everybody back to practice, and I'm sure that led to maybe some of the sloppy play. And just when you put everything, how this preseason has been, I guess that is probably something not to be surprised about, that it would be maybe a little disjointed at times and a little sloppy, especially in that first half.
Well, I thought conditioning came in there a little bit. It looked like we were not as fine-tuned as usual. Some of those kids usually can play unlimited minutes before they take a deep breath, and so I noticed that. I mean, we only had 3 practices, and boy, after you basically don't do much for a week or so, it's pretty difficult to get that conditioning back to where it needs to be in just a few days. So, I thought it was parts of it were a little sloppy, but then I looked, we only had 11 turnovers. 4 of those were player control fouls, so really we only turned it over 7 times in a traditional sense. So while it was, I thought it was more missed assignments on defense and not running our offense right, getting to the wrong spot, and missing open people once in a while. The thing I noticed was I think, as I counted, I think I lost count, but we missed a lot of easy shots, a lot of going to the basket with a little contact, but not enough for a foul that we should make, or at least make a good portion of them. And we just missed way too many of those.
We talked all along about Jaden Hobbs returning and to have a veteran all-conference point guard, the one position that you would love to have and have that luxury of having. And then she gets in foul trouble. And you mentioned some offensive fouls. There was some controversial calls that none of them seemed to go your way on the block charge. But bottom line, she was in foul trouble, didn't get to play as much. And to overcome that as well, I thought said a lot about this team's character and makeup.
Well, I think you're right. And, you know, her fourth and fifth fouls were both one was her taking a charge, one was her charging. Since then, they have been confirmed by our director of officials that they were both totally incorrect.
Not surprised.
And, you know, it's just a shame. I think whoever invented basketball probably didn't have in mind how fast the game was going to move. I mean, and 5 fouls and you're out of the game, you're disqualified. We're really the only sport that can be disqualified for a common foul. I mean, it'd be like, hey, your third holding call in football, you're disqualified. So you can have an incompetent official really take a kid out of the game and totally change the outcome of the game. I don't know. There's got to be a better way to do it. Either, you know, there's a reason the NBA has 6 fouls is because people pay to come watch those guys play. And very seldom do you see anybody foul out. So it was unfortunate on one hand. On the other hand, it was like kind of good to see the rest of the kids kind of look around at each other wondering what's going to happen. And I thought our other kids did a great job of stepping up and taking charge. And I thought Lauren did a good job at point and kind of settle us down. And then when you have a go-to player that was kind of feeling a little bit with Whitney, you had Katie Wagner, who got 3 offensive rebounds and putbacks just in the second half that really kind of kept us going. I just thought overall our kids hung in there and kind of gutted out a win and just found a way to win that game. Kind
of getting back to the foul out, I always thought, you know, I think there maybe should be a penalty, but maybe 3 free throws. Do something, but I'm right on track with you that it's the only sport you get disqualified for, you know, just common play. Fouls happen in basketball. Make a penalty, so if you get 5, maybe you get 3 free throws all the time or something. But to disqualify players for playing, I always thought is just odd.
Well, I've had this figured out for years, and just make your 6th and 7th and 8th, just make them intentional fouls. 2 free throws, you get Perfect. The ball back. It's really simple. It wouldn't be hard to change. We've had way more radical rules changes in basketball than that. I mean, we've changed 3-point line 3 times since they started. Change the size of the ball in the women's game. You have the restricted arc. We've made all kinds of changes. And like I said, back when the game was invented, the ball didn't even bounce. I mean, so the game moves so slow, nobody hardly ever touched each other. It's the way it moves and the contact there's going to naturally be when people are moving that fast. There's just going to be more fouls in there, I think, than the game was set up for.
Well, maybe we can start a campaign and get that changed here in the near future. We'll see what happens there. We're live from the Golden Q. It's Tiger Talk, talking women's basketball with Tony Hobson. Don't forget, you can listen to all the Fort Hays State games anywhere on any device. Find it on our audio stream on Hays Post. You can listen, of course, over the air, but on your mobile device, all you need to do is search Mix 103.3 KJLS Hays in the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store. Download it to your smartphone or tablet. It's free. And don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play KJLS whenever they're in action, and you'll have all the Tiger action right there at your fingertips. We'll take a break, come back with more with Tony Hobson as Tiger Talk continues here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction. Yeah, some of the action from last Tuesday. The Tigers comeback win over Washburn. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're live at the Golden Q. Reminder, Tiger Talk brought to you in part by the Golden Belt Bank of Hays and Ellis. They've been providing the best in-home loans to the Tiger community since 1920. To learn more, visit goldenbeltbank.com. Golden Belt Bank, one story at a time. Big tip in there by Hollenbeck, one of the freshmen. And second chance points, you kind of alluded on it Katie Wagner doing a good job. I think you were outscored 10-2 in second chance points. That was the only bucket on a putback in the first half. Then you outscore Washburn 17-5 in the second half. It just felt like the defensive intensity, crashing the boards, all of those things. I don't know, just we're better after halftime. I'm sure you had some words of encouragement in halftime locker room.
Well, I had words, and some of them were encouraging. And you know, you have to remember that we played 9 people in our rotation, kind of, and you always struggle. You know, that's what early in the season is for me, is to see who's going to be playing and how much. And I still don't know for sure who should be playing. But out of those 9, 4 of them saw their first college action ever. And I just think that that first half, you know, you have to remember that we had 3 freshmen out there for several minutes together. And I think part of it was just nerves and getting hit that first time and taking that first shot and just trying not to get beat off the dribble by a senior or whatever. And I think once that wears off, the second half, they kind of settle in and play. And not just them, though. I think with the rest of them, I think it was, you know, a little sense of urgency where we need to get going. And, you know, my thing is, when you make 40% of your shots, 60% of them are up for grabs. And usually it's just, you know, you probably have a 60-40 chance against you to get an offensive rebound. But boy, what if you got 40% of those and they're all up there? It's just a battle to see who wants it worse. And that's why Wagner's such a good offensive rebounder. Is most of the time she just wants the ball worse than the other person. And one time she just took it out of their hands and laid it back up. And those are just such big swings where you just they kind of keep your momentum going if you had any. And so yeah, our second half we were just more intense and up against it a little bit, dealt with some adversity and came out of there okay.
Yeah, Katie had 8 rebounds, 4 of them on the offensive end. Pretty good debut for her. 17 points in the contest. Also had 3 steals. We heard the stick back from Hollenbeck, who scored 7, had 3 rebounds, and obviously Whitney had a monster game, career high 26 points, and just 1 of 7 3-point shooting. And we've seen her hit threes at a much better clip. She's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. She didn't even have that going, but she just got on a roll there in that second half.
Well, she's got an aggression about her offensively that, you know, there's really no substitute for. And you know, she's been our top 3-point shooter percentage-wise in practice. And we've had 3 kind of inter-squad scrimmages leading up to this. And she actually was our leading 3-point. She'd made the most and shot the highest percentage of anybody on the team. So I think that's there. And she's just an active player and tough and has a good motor. And boy, you can't replace just having a motor, you know, just playing hard all the time. And I think we've got a lot of kids that have that quality. You
kind of touched on the finish of that game. Nobody led by more than 6. You fell behind by 6 with just under 8 minutes to go. And Katie got a stick back and 1. It kind of started the comeback for you guys. And you closed the game on a 16-4 run, hold Washburn scoreless for the final 5:21 in that game, a 10-0 run to close it out. You kind of touched on maybe a sense of urgency. And with this crazy year, who knows? Every game seems to even have more importance and more weight on it. But to finish it the way you did was pretty fun to watch and pretty impressive.
Well, I think just playing just not putting them at the line. I mean, and maybe we fouled them, but they weren't shooting fouls. And so to be able to guard them for 5 minutes and 20 seconds without putting them at the line to score, and then they missed a couple open shots where we left them open, but that happens. So I just thought it was a great way to finish off that game. And Washburn's always, you know, it's kind of a rivalry game. I don't remember which year it was. I think it was 2010. So that'd be 10 years ago. We hadn't beat them since 1992. It had been 18 years. And we beat them that first time. And now I think we've beat them 9 out of the last 10. So the pendulum has kind of swung over towards us the last few years. And, you know, especially over such a good storied program, it kind of tells you that we've really raised our level the last few years.
And it's always a fun game. And there's some good young talent for both teams on the floor. I mean, when we talk about this rivalry, I think there's plenty there to keep this rivalry going at a high level. But both teams, I mean, Dewey had a great game for them. Their offense is hard to stop. And we saw some of the youth in the MIAA here early on in the season. There's going to be no drop off in MIAA basketball. Certainly, there's some good young talent out there.
Well, and you saw two of the teams that probably lost as many seniors as anybody. I know they lost 5 or 6. We lost 5. So probably more of a turnover between our two teams than any. And there was a lot of good young kids out on the floor. And you like to see that when local kids stay in Kansas and you can keep them there and they can have success with you instead of going somewhere else. So, yeah, it was good to see, and we wish we could have had another game on Saturday, but it didn't turn out that way. So we'll just try to prepare and get ready for this week.
All right, well, we'll talk about the week ahead. As of now, game at Newman on Saturday. We're live at the Golden Q, where they're giving away 2 free turkeys or ham every day until Christmas. All you have to do to enter is sign up at the Golden Q at the bar when you order A Street Liquor or Something Blue, the Blue Teak. Winners drawn from the previous day's entry, so you can enter every day and get yourself registered. And then you're automatically registered for a grand prize giveaway on Christmas. It'll be a 32-inch smart TV, a Dos Equis can grill, also a mini fridge and a Pendleton cooler. So a lot of great prizes to be given away. You can register every day and be eligible for all of that here at the Golden Q and at A Street Liquor. We will take a break, be back with more on Tiger Talk from the Golden Q here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Yeah, Fort Hays State would never trail the rest of the way. They scored the final 10 on Tuesday and knock off Washburn 75-69 for a 1-0 start. Hey, Tiger fans, look for the new Fort Hays State Athletic app. It is out, and it's really, really neat. Instantly receive the latest news and information on Fort Hays State Athletics, including real-time alerts, game day details. The new FHSU Athletic app, free and available in the iTunes App Store or the Google Play Store. Search FHSU Athletics. Download for free on your smartphone or tablet today. We're brought to you by BTI, your John Deere dealer. Great Bend, Buckland, Greensburg, Ness City, Hoxie, and Pratt BTI, our family, in partnership with your family, talking women's basketball with Tony Hobson. As of now, at Newman on Saturday, but possibly maybe could get moved to Thursday, could add Central Oklahoma. It's going to depend on what happens with Kearney and their COVID testing this week. But either way, chance to get back after it. You're going to have at least a week plus between games. And in some ways, I'm guessing that might be good for some of the younger players and just the fact you had to miss some practice time. But yet you kind of like to get into a rhythm of playing some games and get a little routine going, I'm sure.
Well, right now we're at such a competitive disadvantage because the teams we play this week, Newman will have played either 5 games or 6 games, or and we've played 1. So the only way you can get better at this point of the year is to play games and then find out what's wrong with you and try to fix it. And so we need to play games. We're in our 4th week of the season already. We have not played one of our scheduled games yet. The only game we played was a makeup date. So everybody else in the conference played at least 3 games, I believe, except Kearney. Kearney, for whatever reason, couldn't play last week. They had 1 positive, 1 quarantine. Their men had 2 positives, 1 quarantine, and they were able to play. Same team doctors, same trainers, same other. We're not sure what the deal was. Those are just the facts as I know them. I guess I'll let everybody draw their own conclusion. I know I've got mine. but we're hoping to get some games. And if Kearney's still under quarantine or can't play, we're going to try to play 2 games this week. Otherwise, we'll just play the 1, hopefully. And it's just kind of hard on your team to not know when you're going to play, and then sometimes not know who you're going to play. It's hard to prepare for them. And I think it's going to be hard to have your team playing their best. And I think a lot of people are in that dilemma. I know Central Oklahoma, they've played 3 games with only 7 players. So most of the teams are making a real effort to try to play their games and not screw up the other team that they're supposed to be playing and their schedule. And I think that's how it should be. That's what we're going to try to do. So we're excited just to get some games. And, I don't know what else to say about it other than we need to get going if we're going to go. I just noticed an NAI school about not even 2 hours away at Sterling. They've played 13 games right now. We've played 1. So, and I don't know that they've had any issues about anything. So we would like to just get some games played.
Well, hopefully for sure at least 1, maybe 2, I guess. Stay tuned. We'll find out as the week goes along. But worst case, we'll see you Saturday in Wichita as you get after those Newman Jets, which should be a very good competitive game against what looks to be a much improved team.
Yeah, I think it will be. And before we go here, I'd like to just say something to one of our real good fans over the years. It's always was at Tiger Club. Had a little accident, Gene Fleehardy. If you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, we're thinking about you and get well soon and hope you're doing okay.
Very good. Yes, Gene, one of the all-time greats. We certainly wish him well. Coach, we appreciate the time as always. We'll see you later this week.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, as of now, scheduled to play at Newman on Saturday. But as we always say, check back. That schedule, especially this year, is subject to change. Tiger Talk brought to you by G&L Tire and Automotive. Their giant end-of-the-year sale going on now. Complete automotive care, tires for all driving conditions. G&L Tire, 201 East 8th and on the bricks in downtown Hays. We'll take a break. Men's coach Mark Johnson will join us as we continue from the Golden Q. It's Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Yeah, some of the action from Saturday up at the Health and Sports Center in Kearney. Fort Hays State and the Lopers. Tigers come up a little bit short in the contest. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We are at the Golden Q in Hays. Coaches still remote. Hopefully someday soon they'll be able to join us here in person. Hey, 10% of your meal purchase here at the Golden Q will be taken off, and you bring a gift for the KVC Christmas toy donation. You'll find it back in the back corner here. Some gift ideas for the KVC Christmas toy donation. And, of course, you can register for the free turkeys and hams given away every day from the Golden Q, where the grilled cheeseburger is the daily special here on this Monday. We're joined by head men's coach Mark Johnson. Tigers 0-3 start, all 3 losses by a combined 8 points. Another tough one up in Kearney, and just had a bad stretch there in the first half. Made a little run to get it close, and then same in the second, and got it to within 3, but just kind of ran out of time. But that was another tough one for you guys.
Yeah, we struggled offensively up in Kearney, especially the first half, and that's when that happens, which is going to happen at times when you're on the road, especially first road game. That's where your defense has got to bail you out and keep you close. And we weren't able to do that. Kearney, defensively we were not very good. They really hurt us with their ball screen stuff. Either we didn't show, then we went to switching, and they took advantage of the switching with their size and strength. And they got a big point guard. The Morris kid's a big kid. They can put a big lineup out there, and we struggle with that. So, yeah. And then the second half, we kind of got our offense going, and just, again, didn't get enough stops in the second half. But we rallied up there offensively and started playing well. Obviously, Jared was really good in the second half offensively. Need him to continue, though, to get better on the defensive end. But the second half, I mean, he gave us a chance with how good he was.
Yeah, he scored 19 straight. I'm not sure I've ever seen a single individual take over a game like that, and then you can just feel he kind of got into a rhythm, and he was going to help will you guys back in that game. That was impressive to see, and then he ended up also with 15 rebounds, which was a feather as well, back-to-back double-doubles for him.
Yeah, what's giving us problems, and it just made it worse at Kearney. And I think we said before the year started, with 3 guys out, you're already thin. You can't afford to lose anymore. I thought Trajan got off to a great start. He hit a 2, then a 3, gets 5 points, goes down, jumps to contest a shot, and pulls an oblique pretty heavily, and really couldn't play the rest of the game. And I don't know if we'll have him this week at all. But what happens is, like for Jared, I mean, we need to play Jared at the 5 offensively. That is a mismatch problem. With him have a 5 trying to guard him out on the perimeter, shoot the ball, gives us better movement. But you need to do that with guards, and we're running out of guards. And so we're going I think we're going to have to go small. We did a little bit like we did the second half. We kind of sat Gilbert a little bit and put Jared more in the 5. And I think that's what we have to do going forward. But we also have to have enough bodies out there to play. So it's kind of that mix and match we're trying to figure out. Is we're running out of perimeter players, and that affects Jared, because Jared's really a tough matchup at the 5 position. So just kind of figure it out as we move forward.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it. It was tough for Trajan because you could tell he had the potential to have a pretty big game the way he started, and things are kind of clicking for him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he's getting better and better. I mean, we were even talking about, even that game, thinking about moving him to the starting lineup and going with a little bit more, like I said, getting Jared to the 5 more and doing that. And we didn't, but then obviously we put him in right away. And I think that's when he can get back. That's a lineup I think we need to look at is playing him and be around Jared and get Jared being really playing the 5 most of the time. And I feel like right now he's been playing the 4 most of the time, and we got to get him more to the 5. We just got to have some perimeter guys to put out there.
Offensively, you've been able to score some points, and we kind of touched on it after the game. And with a young team, not to probably be unexpected, but defensively, it's been a struggle. Kearney shot it incredibly well, and they always do, but some breakdowns defensively, and for you guys to start turning the corner and getting some wins, obviously that's got to come along quick.
No doubt. I mean, we scored 80 twice in our first 3 games. It's like I told our guys, I've had teams that scored 80 maybe 4 or 5 times in a season, and we won 20 games and went to the NCAA tournament. And, so if you score 80, you should have a great opportunity to win the game. We're not guarding well enough, and we got to get better. And on that end, I think circumstances, guys are playing longer minutes than we really probably need them to or want them to. And I always say sometimes the biggest difference between your 5th or 6th man and your 8th and 9th man is more about toughness, defense, doing stuff right. And right now we got some guys that they're being elevated minutes wise and position wise, and some of those things are being shown. And if we want to get better, I mean, they're going to have to play. We don't have any options but them. But so they got to take it on themselves and get better in those moments. And hopefully they do, and they understand that. And we start doing those things and give us a better chance to win some games.
Yeah, going into this season with so many new faces and Nige injured, point guard was a big question mark. You kind of moved Caleb Hammocky in there. That's probably not a natural position for him, but you've kept the turnovers relatively low and have done some good things there. Has that play been maybe better than you'd expected just because of all the youth and the roles that some of those guys were now being expected to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think, they've done pretty well. I think Quentin had 5 turnovers, which is not good enough. But for the year, in the 3 games, he's done pretty well. I think right now Quentin's averaging almost 12 points a game and 5 assists a game. Caleb's, hasn't turned it over very much at all and averaging 8 points and 4 assists. So they've done well. I think the biggest difference, and Nige's kind of the guy that can go get you 20-something in a game. I don't know if any of those guys right now are capable of doing that. I think that's the biggest difference not having Nige. Nige had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times last year where he went for 20-something and kind of was the difference in you winning. But, yeah, that's the position really of the guys out that we had enough other guys able to step in and be productive. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. You look at it. I'd like to say we're young, but I don't know if that's really been a big part of our problem. I think just not having the guys is the problem. I think our young guys have actually played well. Like I said, Caleb and Quentin have actually done a pretty good job. If we brought in a junior college guy or whatever, had a junior on the team right now that was getting 12 and 5, we'd feel feel good about that. So I think they're doing a good job. I think our youth has done well. It's just some of our other things are causing our problems that we just got to fight through and keep battling. And if you keep working hard and keep trying to do right, I think eventually you get rewarded for that. And that's the mindset we have to have.
We're live at the Golden Q. It's the Tiger Talk here on this Monday. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, or use the Taco Shop app for contactless delivery. It's the Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. And again, a reminder, when you come into the Golden Q, when you make your order, you can go ahead and register. They'll be giving away 2 free turkeys or hams every day until Christmas. Sign up here at the Golden Q. You can register at 8th Street Liquor. Also at Something Blue, the Blue Teak. Winners drawn from the previous day's entries. So they throw them out and start over. So come in every day and get registered for the free turkeys and ham. All the entries will be put into a drawing for a grand prize giveaway at Christmas, a 32-inch smart TV, a Dos Equis can grill, a mini fridge, and a Pendleton cooler. So a lot of great gifts here from the Golden Q. Also, 10% off your meal when you bring a gift item for the KVC Christmas toy donation. We're out the Golden Q. If the game's on, they're open. We will take our final break and talk some more men's basketball with head coach Mark Johnson. It's Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Fact: 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact: 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Yeah, we go on to score 29, a career high, along with a career high 15 rebounds, 26 of those 29 after halftime. But unfortunately, Fort Hays State comes up short, 84-80 to Nebraska Kearney. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head men's coach Mark Johnson, till the top of the hour. Fort Hays State with a little change to the schedule. They'll take a little detour of MIAA play, an exhibition game tomorrow as they head to Manhattan to take on the Kansas State Wildcats, who had a game with Butler on Friday canceled because of some COVID issues with the Butler Bulldogs. So you didn't think you're going to get an exhibition game this year. You will get one kind of at an odd spot. Doesn't happen often. You have a mid-season. I think maybe Colorado a few years back that happened. But fun opportunity for your kids to go to Manhattan and play the Wildcats tomorrow.
Yeah, it just so happened our schedules worked out where we had a gap and we only played Newman and they lost a game. And you hope, when you're playing them, it's 3 times a week of testing and we got to test at the arena before the game. So, you hope that, the good things happen and you get to play the game. But yeah, we're appreciative of them letting us do this. And it's always a fun experience for your players. I mean, to get to be able to do that and compete. K-State's always a team that plays really hard. They guard, athletic team. So it'll be interesting for us. It'll be a good experience. And again, like we keep saying with our team right now, when you have this young team, the only way we're going to get better is play games. We can practice all we want, but then you can do everything right. But now you get in the moment of a game and things speed up. Your mind, like we talked about, things change. And so, our guys need game experience. And hopefully they settle in and can do things. So I think it helps us, too, just get another game in instead of a full week of practice before we play.
And then Newman on Saturday, obviously that's the important one because that's a conference game. They're 0-3, and you look at them. I mean, they lose by 3 to Southern. They lose by 2 in their second game to Pittsburgh State, and they had the Emporia game postponed, and they had just one of those games at Topeka against Washburn Saturday. But a lot of new faces on their team, but they appear to be an improved ball club as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are. I mean, I think a little bit like us, when you got a whole new team and everybody's starting to figure it out at home, you kind of can get through it and you play and you look like they could have, both those games could have gone either way, kind of like us. They could have very easily started the year off 2-0, and then they go play a good Washburn team on the road, and a new team's just not prepared for probably what they're about to face, and they get kind of blitzed. So I think that's a learning lesson for them, and they'll come back. This week and be back at home and play. A lot of athletes. Got a kid named Bunn that's a very talented guard. That'll be a tough matchup. So Newman's always a hard play. We've had a lot of success there, but I feel like it hasn't come easy. We found ways to win, and this Saturday will be the same. I mean, we're going to have to play well, defend, and it'll be a close game, and hopefully we can end up on top.
Well, neither team made the conference tournament last year. That you played them there. You found a way to win. I know a lot of the players from that game have moved on, but that was about as intense of a game I remember being a part of for a while for two teams that weren't going to go to the postseason tournament. I don't know if there'll be any carryover effect or that starts this rivalry with them. But if last year was any indication, I mean, you better come ready to play because it was an intense battle for all 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was a physical game last year. Kind of got out of hand at the end and in the post game and all that. I mean. So, I thought our guys handled themselves perfectly during that. But, I think there's a lot of new faces for them, and I'm sure they won't want that to happen again. So, but, yeah, it was, a good way to finish the year. Would have been nice if Pitt would have got beat also that day, and we could have parlayed that in going to Kansas City. But, like I said, it'll be a tough game, and we'll have to be locked in for 40 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Well, Mark, hopefully all goes well with the testing, and we'll get to play some basketball, but we'll see you the way tomorrow in Manhattan to take on those Cats.
All right, thanks, Gerard. Thank you.
Right. You bet. That's Mark Johnson, head coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, it's not on your schedule. Got added this week or late last week, but Fort Hays State at K-State. That'll be coming your way tomorrow, 7:01. The tip-off will be on the air at 6:30 with the Auto World pregame show. And then Saturday in Wichita to take on the Newman University Jets. So hope you can join us for all the action. That's going to wrap it up for Tiger Talk today. It's brought to you by these premier Fort Hays State Tiger sponsors, the Taco Shop. You've never had it so good. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, one story at a time. BTI, your area John Deere dealer. And G&L Tire and Automotive, they're on the bricks in downtown Hayes. And, of course, brought to you by the Golden Q, just east of campus on 8th Street in Hayes. The Golden Q, if the game's on, we're open. One more program before we take a little break for Christmas. That'll be next Monday. We'll talk to you then. For Mark Johnson and Tony Hobson, Gerard Wellbrock saying so long, everyone.